Came across this interesting ad. It's an ad for a company called The Collective, and they do have products like gourmet mango yogurt, different sort of flavors of yogurts. And I saw the creative, and I found it really interesting. And we'll be good to explore that from a creativity standpoint and just see how the ad or the content does challenge what we expect of content and expect of products. And it's such a very simple caption, but it's so powerful. And when I saw this, I was like, lock up your spoons. And what came to mind was spoons are not really, you don't really lock up spoons. You lock up things like your keys, you lock up things like your gold, the diamond, valuable items. Spoons are things you use a spoon on a regular basis, so you're less likely to lock up your spoons. And I was like, no, this is interesting. It's sort of kind of against the norm. So you don't really expect to lock up a spoon. And I was like, that's very interesting. And I was like, let me explore this further. But before that, I think the good thing about this ad is it says lock up your spoons. And if you can see that, it still shows the actual products that it's been advertised. So it's not confusing, because if they had said lock up your spoons and you see a picture of a spoon, then you might think it's a company trying to promote a spoon, but it wouldn't really make sense. But seeing those yogurts and seeing lock up your spoons, it sort of helps you understand the actual products. And the lock up your spoons almost emphasizes the product or promotes the product in a more I probably say in a more appealing manner. But let's explore some of the key points. So what came to mind is I did a quick search on Google online just to see some of the items you're more likely to lock up. So things like your passport, your social security cards, these are things you lock up. So if the ad had said lock up your passports, like you say, cool. I mean, these are something you'd expect someone to say to you, or lock up your cash, lock up your family photos. These are things you expect to be locked up, but not your spoon. I mean, the spoon is not something you lock up, something you use, you wash, you put it in a dishwasher, but you don't really lock it up. So it's like, why would you say lock up your spoons? What's the message? What message are we trying to, or is the company or the product company trying to convey? So I was like, these are items you'd expect to be locked up, but not a spoon. So let's see. I mean, what are some of the additional thoughts I have? And when it comes to creativity, you always want a surprise element, because generally we know lock up your wallet, lock up your phone, lock up your passport. Those are usual. Those are usual statements you would expect or you'd hear, because lock up could sort of occur in the same context as gold or diamond, but not a spoon. So for me, there was an element of surprise. So I think the ad copy is quite creative, because there was a surprise, because you wouldn't expect a spoon to be locked up. And then just generally, so that the surprise is a key factor. You don't really expect a spoon to be locked up. You expect other things to be locked up, but not a spoon. So that just explains why I was a bit surprised, and where most users will be surprised and taken aback. Like, why would you want to lock up a spoon? That would pick their curiosity. And the best content or the best ads would always pick your curiosity or challenge your beliefs, or make you or be surprised, or almost add more layer of understanding to what you already know about the products or about the world. So that's the key thing about creativity. And generally, I was like asking myself, what's the key message from this ad copy? And you can see it's more or less telling people to lock up their spoons. But the company itself they sell yogurt and the rest, and you wouldn't want people to lock up the spoon, because when they lock up the spoon, then they are less likely to eat off or to consume the yogurt. You want them to like unleash their spoon so they can have more of the product. But I can say it's a bit of reverse. It's a bit of reverse psychology. It's more or less trying to emphasize how desirable the product is. That's it. It's so tempting that you might have to lock up your spoons, because the yogurts and the product is so appealing and tasty that locking up your spoon is the only way to control yourself. So you can see it in that light. So generally, it does emphasize the desirability and tastiness of the product. So that's sort of my take on that. So that's why I think they use lock up your spoons as opposed to, I don't know, unleash your spoon or explore with your spoon or use your spoon. So you can say overall, it's a creative art because it did challenge our thoughts and in terms of what we conceive of how spoon should be managed. So overall, I say it's a very creative ad. So good job to the agency that worked on the ad, and also great content and great ad copy for the collective as well. So those are my thoughts around this, and I hope you enjoyed my take on this banner ad or out of home ad itself. Thank you very much, and see you next time.